Hello, and welcome to End All Wars. Now, at long last, we are starting the Austria Hungarian campaign with the To End All Wars Ultimate Enhancement mod, so full credit to Altaris on the forum, one of the To End All Wars developers for developing this mod. Brilliant mod, fantastic person, and you guys should definitely head over and join the To End All Wars forums. It's great to see conversation going on there, and right then, with that being said, let's go to the basics. I.e., let's pick a country. So, yes, the full campaign, we have our choice of Germany, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, France, Britain, the USA, Russia, Italy, and the Ottomans. But you guys have voted for Austria, with a grand total of 34 votes, which was 49% of the actual total vote. So, that's pretty impressive, So let's get into this then, with Austria. Now, what is our situation in July 1914? Well, we are definitely the junior within the Central Powers. Sorry about the little bit of lag there, it does take a little bit of time. Okay, so we are definitely the junior power within the Central Powers. Not to say that we aren't powerful, we are definitely up there. But we can already see where our objectives lay. Lublin, Lodz, Warsaw, these are the cities I must take and aim to take within a couple turns. It's going to take me some time to organise the military, but yes, we're going to need it. Now let's take a look at our income level. We don't have actually any income level as of yet due to the game not being started yet. So we are going to go for the Kaiser plan. I should have done a video voting for war plans, but in all honesty, the war plans for Austria aren't too different. There is the Conrad plan. Austria faces Serbia while also engaging Russia as a priority. Not exactly different, really. The König plan, which is all out defense against Serbia. I doubt people would like that one. If you have any idea on history, you'd know that's a pretty bad idea. Or the Prince plan, which is basically Austria holds its forces in reserves. But we are going to go for the Kaiser plan. Austria attacks Russian force, opting to deal with Serbia at a later date. Now we can see some penalties, which is new from the mod. We have the Austro-Hungarian National Resilience, down by 1,000, which is about 2 national morale points potentially. And the German National Resilience goes up by 500, so it does benefit our ally due to the fact that we are declaring war on the Russians, we are focusing on the Russians. So yes, you can definitely see the ideas there. So Mr. Conrad Von Hotzendorf will once again lead our armies as the Grand Headquarters. And we will gain 30% cohesion at the end of every turn until, just through August basically. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try and make the best use of it as I can. Okay, so we'll save the game. We have picked our war plan, which is the Kaiser plan. So we'll have to see how things go. I am really looking forward to this mod actually. I've been looking forward to it for a while. Once again, I apologise, this game is definitely not the quickest on startup. But I mean, just being able to zoom out to this level is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, appreciating the map is it's so nice. It's a very well crafted map, I've got to admit. And I hope to see more things from the AGEOD team in the future, such as the Napoleon game, which I'm looking forward to. Can't wait to try that one out for you guys. So, let's begin, and let's see where we go. I'm hoping by being ridiculously aggressive at the start, we can try and roll back the Russians enough for the Germans to focus on the Western Entente, i.e. France. It's going to be a different experience playing as the Austrians and having no control over the German AI, so we'll have to see how things go. Okay, and of course with the dynamic turns, the turn is only 7 days at the start. Right. I'm just thinking, what should I do with Italy? I don't know if I can influence Italy myself. I believe I get 2 or 3 diplomats. Well, we can see here then. We'll take a look at our forces in a moment, but let's take a look over here then. So we can see we have 2 diplomats, but we can only influence minor powers. So I have no control over the influencing of Italy to join the war. Interestingly, Spain and China can now join the war, so that's pretty interesting. They were not in before. They weren't in originally, but they were removed for issues. I can't remember exactly, but they were removed. So, what do we want to focus our diplomatic efforts on? Well, considering we are right next to Bulgaria and Romania, and that would benefit us infinitely, I shall focus all my diplomatic efforts on Romania and Bulgaria, as I am going to need them like... Yeah, I'm going to need them a lot. I'm also going to pick up some new generals, as that will become really useful. Okay, so we have the new features of the, well, coastal control, which will be interesting. And, okay, let's see what our navy is like. So, a few changes to how the navy works now. So, we have the Dreadnought Squadron here. The Prince Eugene. Okay. A Battleship Squadron. So it's pretty interesting that you have a single battleship and that comes with some destroyers. So the navies may be much larger in terms of the, well, following ships. I mean, we have 233 ships here. That's impressive. And you can see dreadnoughts are very, very valuable. I mean, these beauties are only a single ship. But you can see their firepower compared to a destroyer, well, 2 destroyers and a battleship. Oh no, it's an armoured cruiser, actually. Oh no, that's 3 armoured cruisers. Interesting. Right. Oh, well, these are all battleship squadrons. I suppose it's hard to put a battleship icon there. Oh well, I don't mind it, actually. Okay. So we have new units. How long would it take us to actually construct a dreadnought out of interest? A dreadnought squadron? Or a dreadnought? Oh no, that's just a destroyer. So, to construct a dreadnought squadron would take us 600 days at a cost of 850 money, 78 munitions, 25 conscripts, 570 war supplies. So not quite as much war. And again, you're not building like 3 dreadnoughts or 4 dreadnoughts. You're only building 1 and then light cruise and 2 destroyers. So that's interesting. Okay. So, we'll take a look at our numbers, which I managed to work out the other day. So we have roughly 480,579 men, roughly. That's not counting garrisons, but yeah, we're roughly outnumbered 2-1 by the Russians at the start of the war. So we need to take a look at our, well, situation. So we have 2 active armies in this first turn. Now these armies are under the control of Liborius Ritter von Frank. And was that Liborius or yeah, Liborius. Liborius. What an actual amazing name. And then Moritz Affenberg. I'm gonna call him Ulfenberg. Ulfenberg. Okay. So we have 65,000 men in here. And 63,000 men in here. That's not enough. I need to combine these armies, actually. So we have 39 command points over here, and yeah. I could probably fit these in. I'd probably have to take the cavalry corps out, but it will be worth it. So, that's what we're going to do, as I do need to oppose Brusilov. Or Brusilov. I believe it is Brusilov. It's definitely Brusilov's picture. Okay, so we'll move over here. 4 days and 6 days. Hopefully we will be able to meet up. Okay, well, we'll have them in the same area, so they will be on defensive. So we can build a nice, strong army from there. Okay, so what have the other powers gone for? Great Britain has joined the Entente and is now at war with the Central Powers. Belgium. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that's the sleeping plan. Serbia. Right, Russia, the Grand Duke plan. Russia launches an early offensive against Germany to relieve France, but also prepares to launch an invasion of Galicia. Okay. So they have a good number of armies, but they are split between Germany and Austria, so that's going to work to our advantage. The French have gone for their historical option. Kaiser plan is our plan, of course. And the sleeper plan, yes, okay. Serbia has rejected the ultimatum, of course. Serbian Prime Minister Nikolai Pašić, after long deliberation with his government and the other great powers, agrees to all points of the Austrian ultimatum except the demand to allow Austrian police and military personnel free reign in Serbia. Austria immediately responds with a declaration of war, which is almost immediately followed by a declaration of war by Russia. Now, it's interesting, they agreed to pretty much all of the points of the ultimatum, barring the police and military personnel having full jurisdiction within Serbia. Basically granting that would surrender all sovereignty, so yeah. You can kind of see why they did, in fact, refuse. Okay. So we can't really move too much right now, due to the fact that a lot of our things are not activated, though we do have this commander over here, and he is activated. So, the new changes are the fact that we don't have divisions, we now have corps. They're slightly larger, well the reserve corps are, the reserve infantry corps are slightly larger. But we can only have one leader to a corps as far as I'm aware. Whilst before we could create a corps with 2 divisions, well up to 4 divisions or different support elements, it kind of was interchangeable. So we have these forces here. Now what do we want to do with them? I'm going to send them to Zemun. Basically I want to have a decent army, maybe 900 to 1000 combat power in the south, probably 1000 would be too much. But I need to have a good amount of force in the south to keep Serbia at bay. I'm not going to step into Serbia at all until Bulgaria and Romania hopefully join on my side and not against me. Otherwise, we're throwing away manpower for no real gain. So how many conscripts do we gain? 572 a month. We gain 59 war supply and 273 state funds. Nowhere near enough. Okay. So from October 1914 we'll be able to construct factories, but at the moment we can't. So let's take a look at the new factory system, shall we? Let's see. We have Vienna over here, so we have an artillery factory and we have an officer factory. Now what that basically means is Vienna is a size 12 city. So to build a factory you need to have a city of size 8 and above, and building a factory reduces the size of the city by 5. So you can't spam, the factories. So we could build another one in Prague. And there's a few other places where we could probably build them. But yes, we need to look for the big Russian cities. Lublin is a city we could use. And let's try and see. So it has a farm field. So it produces money, conscripts, and land supply. Size 2. So Lodz and Lublin are our targets, as they're pretty easy. Evangrod would be good as well, but Warsaw is pretty much a primary objective. Let's take a look at our objectives as well. Yeah, you can see... Well, the objective wants us to head over here. I mean, I could take Kowel and Lublin... Well, I could take Kowel and Lublin fairly easily. But the thing is, I want to shorten the front for me and Germany. So if I can take Poland and take up to the river here, then that will be great for us. Especially, well, essentially as it does shorten the front. Which will help the Russians as well, but... if we can concentrate and force our way through, then that will be good. Okay, so that's a lot of talking I've just done there. Let's take a look at some of these little things going on here. So we don't need to produce anything extra at the moment, so that's fair enough. War plans we've already chosen. Options, no options as of yet. So we have the concessions to Italy, which we can play from... when can I play this? If it is still a neutral nation. So probably sometime in 1915. Okay. Right, so we can see how, well, we can see our combat power as ranked against the other powers. So Germany is, well, almost 3 times stronger than we are. Russia is about twice and a little bit stronger. France, we're kind of on par with France. We are more powerful than Great Britain, at least on land, so that makes sense. But Great Britain just completely owning the show in the naval power. Well, Germany's not too far off them. Germany is the second, so that's not bad. So let's take one more look at our navy then. What should we do with the Kriegsmarine? Well, I can combine that over there. There's no sense having it separate. We need to be fairly aggressive with the navy. So I am going to head over here to the Mediterranean shipping box. That is the Mediterranean blockade box, which will affect me as well. So I do need to take care of this one. So we'll go on aggressive. We'll go on conservative. Well, no, we can go on a sustained attack. I doubt we'll be facing much at the start. Okay. So there's not really much to do this turn, so we will advance and we will see what happens. Actually, then again, what should I construct? So we only have... How much artillery do we have in this? About 288 cannon. 324 cannon. 288 cannon. 288 cannon. Well, I need to maximize my artillery. I need more artillery. It's only 1 point, and it does give us a great advantage. Why am I building them here? I might as well build them somewhere with a rail track. That makes sense. So we'll build them over in... Which is the best defended fort, actually? Presimil, probably. Yeah, definitely Presimil. So we'll build more artillery, so we can only build 2 regiments of medium artillery due to the fact it costs. How much does it cost us to build? It costs us 250 money, 15 conscripts, 30 war supply. No, wait, what? 250 money. Whatever 4 is, so maybe officers. And 30 conscripts and 75 war supplies. So that's quite a lot there. But I mean, it's not the most powerful at the moment due to its cohesion being low, but its maximum power should be about 20 to 30, 25 most likely. It has a range of 5. Not the longest range, but it's 12, 14 firepower. It will give us a bit of an advantage. It's some extra firepower for some small cost, basically. Okay, so we'll save there, and we shall advance into the true proper turn. I'm impressed by you guys voting. The amount of votes has definitely increased every time I've put some kind of vote out there, so that's really encouraging for me. Definitely encouraging. And I have received payment from Google, actually, of a decent amount, about £61. So I'm trying to decide whether I should buy Combat Mission Black Sea and give you guys videos of a modern military sim. Well, it's actually set in it's actually set in 2015, so it's pretty much modern day. Well, present day, so that could be interesting. I'm sure you guys would love to see Abrams squared up against, like, T-90s, so that'd be really cool. I think they even have the Armata in there as well, so that would be pretty cool. Okay, so, disclaimer, I suppose I should say. I don't know how stable this mod will be in the future, so we'll have to go into this with that in mind. It may have some kind of irreversible crash. It may have something like that. I do not know. So we'll have to see. Okay, so Serbians are... Oh, hello, we actually picked off something there. Oh, I should show my options. I'll show the options I've enabled next turn, actually. Well, that was a small engagement. Actually, I really do need to check the options, and, yeah, shit, I should have done that before I started. Okay. Options. What do we have? Right, battle animation, Lou. Okay, yep, that's fine. Difficulty, historical attrition is player only. I know some people would prefer that one. Yep. Easy supply off, yep. I'll have that on high. AI is on the highest ranking, they have the highest attack bonus. I may put them on aggressive, I don't know. I think medium aggressiveness is probably better. Activation bonus. Ah. Well, in the mod, everybody's activated anyway, so I'll leave that as is. Right, there we go. Resume. Okay, the Anglo-Japanese Treaty. Originally signed in 1902, the Anglo-Japanese Treaty was originally designed to keep Russian ambition in the Pacific in check. Reaffirmed and expanded after the Russo-Japanese War of 1905, it served as a catalyst to bring the Japanese into the Great War against Germany. In return for their aid in rooting the Germans out of their Pacific holdings, the Japanese gained control over most of their previous German colonies in the Far East, and strengthened their position against China on the mainland. So, wow, that shifts Japan 50% towards the Western Entente. That's a huge shift. Yeah, that brings them immediately into the war. Fair enough. We have the neutral blockade. Almost immediately after the outbreak of hostilities, Great Britain imposed a blockade on Germany in the North Sea. The blockade was extended to include inspections and seizure of any neutral shipping that was suspected of aiding the German war effort. This measure was not popular in neutral nations, but helped tighten the grip on the Central Powers. Oh my, Britain just brought so much economic force and naval force to the Western Entente, it's unreal. And the Goeben and the Breslau. At the outbreak of the First World War, the British fleet attempted to intercept the German battlecruiser SMS Goeben and the light cruiser SMS Breslau. The cruisers evaded the British, passing through the Dardanelles to reach Constantinople. Their arrival was a catalyst that contributed to the Ottoman Empire joining the Central Powers. I can't remember who it was exactly, but I believe they took the Goeben and the Breslau and they basically had the German sailors wear Ottoman uniforms. I can't remember if that's true or not. I'm sure it's something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. And the Kaiser go to Germany, yeah, fair enough. Right. So this is part of the mod. We have offensives. The war plan selected for your nation requires a mandatory attack into Russia this turn. Fail to send at least 40 line or cavalry elements, roughly 7 corps, into Russia this turn will result in Austria Hungary suffering an immediate 10 national morale penalty. Okay. So we only lost 1,537 men. That was pretty much nothing. Pretty good considering that they had the numbers there. And, oh nice, we sank some destroyers. Fantastic. Yep, completely sank it. Good. This is what I want to see. I want to be very aggressive with my navy while I still can. The Germans have advanced on number. And they're advancing into Nancy and Longwy. Oh, is Longwy now a fortress? It would appear so. I think I can see a redoubt there. A redoubt. Redoubt? I think it's redoubt. Okay. The German High Seas Fleet is out. No sightings of the Russian Baltic Fleet. The only Russian armies we see at the moment is Brusilov. Yeah. Alexei Brusilov. He is at the head of a powerful army. Okay, so if we can take this... oh god, I always forget about the bloody general. Fuck. I always forget about this one, but I'm probably going to take him away and use him somewhere else. He's okay. He's not amazing. There's nothing really particularly special about him. So we can send him back to, Vienna. We can take a look at Conrad Von Hotzendorf's influence. Now, they definitely increase the size of the influence area of the Grand Headquarters, so that's really, really, really nice for me. Okay, well, we can send him basically over here. Sending commanders is free in terms of rail points, so that's good for us. So how many rail points do we have at the moment? We have 600, so not a lot then. Right, taking out the cavalry corps has brought us down to good, right on par. Now we do have extra support elements, which I do need to sort out. Now, something that has definitely changed is the fact that these supports now affect the stacks, which is fantastic. It's really nice, actually. It makes having supports a lot easier. So I'm going to put this over here with the cavalry, and they shall hold their position. So we are at a disadvantage. And we can't dig in yet. It is after October 1914 that we can dig trenches, which will come up here. You'll see those soon enough. Right, so Romania is leaning heavily towards the Western Entente, so we are going to have to be careful about that. I am going to need an army constructed at home to, defend the Empire. Okay, let's take all these commanders over here and we can try and figure out where to deploy them. Okay. So we have a cavalry commander, aristocratic cavalryman, so he can take control of his cavalry corps. Now this is a very good cavalry corps, actually. That's a very good cavalry corps. Very good. And they are experienced as well, so that's fantastic. Yes, they are very experienced. Lovely. Right then, where do we want to send these cavalry corps? They will be very useful in taking control of rail lines. I could send them to Germany, actually. If we go to Germany, 10 days, we could try to make it to Lodz. So if I have them on attack, well, offensive, but pull back basically if anything goes wrong, that should be okay. I want to be in a position to try and take Lodz as fast as absolutely possible. Right, so we have our armies over here, fair enough. Now, we have room in these armies for a lot more troops, so we are going to have to bear that in mind. Oh, something I haven't taken a look at yet is our supply map mode, which has been changed actually. It's a hell of a lot nicer, to be honest, to be able to see this sort of thing instead of like the giant stacks of like supplies, so I do appreciate that. Okay, so we can see we produce 50 over here, whereas over here we produce 1,283. So it's not exact, but you can kind of get an idea. It may have to do with the size of the city, actually, so that's something to bear in mind. Now, I do love the fact that we can see the Carpathian Mountains very clearly. Especially, well, just the impassable mountains, so we can really see, if worse comes to worse, we can turn the Carpathians into our line of defense. Okay. This cavalry, how many men are present? Only 6,200. Impressive. Ah, so these actually have men to them now. They're not just tiny little brigades. Fair enough, fair enough. Now, I do have this cavalry corps, so I'm going to put them to use, so we are going to send them over here via rail. 16 days, wow, that's impressive. Okay, so let's head out. We're going to advance over here. Advance to Rizin, and we're going to advance to Invergrod. 12 days, potentially. Okay, go on conservative... Well, no, we need to go on sustained attack mode. I believe you have to just be on the offensive posture to take control of territory. I'm not 100% on that one, but I believe that is how it is. Okay, how long will we have to wait for our new artillery? Approximately 0 days. So it will be ready by next turn. So the build time is about 2 turns, then it would seem. Okay. Now, hopefully I can take Lublin. Right then, let's see. So that would take us 12 days advancing that route. I can't take any rail transportation. 9 days, so I have to go through this territory no matter what. Yeah, okay. It's going to take us some time to get over there then. Go on conservative attack. So we have to send men across the border this turn. Okay, we can put some planes into there. So at least this force can advance over here. And we can send about 3 armies at the Russians in Poland. So if we can reach... well, I think I'll try this one then. If we can get to Lodz and take Lodz, then that would be amazing. Okay, so we can see the Germans over here. We can see Mr. Pritwitz is in command for the time being. That will soon change to Hindenburg. Okay, so we see a Russian army over here. Another Russian army over here. Okay. So, we only see 1 Russian army as opposed to the Germans seeing 2 Russian armies at the time. So that's not bad. We're doing good on that front. Okay, so we have these leaders. I could do with sending them... Right, so we have 2 corps here that needs a commander. So we'll tell them to go link up with the army over here. I want you to link up. There we go. And how about this force? How many corps? We have 2 corps as we have the cavalry as well. If I could have if I have another cavalry commander, that'd be fantastic. But I don't believe I do. Stressed. Not great. Though he is an open order tactician, so it's pretty useful. Okay, send them by rail. And the rest we will send over here to support our troops. As, yes. We do have 1 corps. So I think I'll just send, 1 over to that army there. Okay, you're going to, Przemysl, Krakow. Okay. So we'll send this commander to link up with this force. He's not the best commander due to the fact that he is stressed which does give -1 discipline to our troops. So it's not the best penalty to have, but I will make do. Okay, we can make this commander an army commander straight away. Fantastic. We'll link up with our forces over here. And we should be able to drive these Serbians out fairly easily. It won't be much of an issue to drive them out. We'll combine them with a reconnaissance planes over here. So he's not bad at all. He's a vainglory strategist. Not too bad. Not too bad, really. There's worse traits out there. Right, we have these balloons over here, so I'm going to have them sent over here. Now, things do seem to move a hell of a lot faster on tracks and roads. I think that's to do with something up here. I can't remember exactly. Or it might be just the fact... Well, basically in this mod, wheeled vehicles and etc. moves a lot better on these areas. It's sort of designed that you move along the railroads and the roads themselves, instead of just wandering off into the wilderness. So you'd move very slow through here, but over here you'd move okay. That's a terrible, terrible explanation, isn't it? Oh well. Right, I want to keep on top of this artillery. I want more and more artillery. I want to make up for our artillery deficit, as we are lacking in material. Okay. I shall check in the following turn what we could... Well, no, I've already looked at what we have in Warsaw. So there's no important factories in Warsaw or any of the cities I've looked at so far. I need to identify where the Russians have their important factories. Probably in Petrograd. Probably in Petrograd. Which would be more than likely as it is their capital. So we need to find these industrial Russian centers and try and take them. And then we can definitely throw a gear. Throw a wrench into their gear, sorry. Okay. So at least we should fulfill the grand offensive by sending 40 elements into Russia. We should be able to do that easily. Come on, game. Show me the money. Still got the cogs whirling. Ah, there we go. Supply is going to be interesting for us. Well, I would say that's a... I don't know, It's interesting what the German army is doing. They're advancing on the French... Oh, they actually kicked them out of Nancy. That's interesting. Now, the French lands have definitely been changed. Well, the towns and cities have been changed. Paris is no longer a fortress, which is fantastic. I'd have loved that. Lucky Germans. And the game crashed. Well, I shall be right back, guys. I did warn you.